This is Jazz, just as Jazz 313 with a special with my neighbor. You're talking about Detroit flavor, Detroit sound, Mississippi connection. We did Stanley Ruffin with David Ruffin. Now we have Otis Williams' brother. Paul Williams, I'm sorry. So anyway, though, talk to him and tell us who you are and tell us about Paul and the Temptations.
My name is Joseph Williams. I'm the youngest brother of Paul Williams of the Temptations, and I got a story to tell. It's really a journey from Alabama to Michigan, following a big brother, not knowing that this big brother would eventually become one of the biggest stars in America one day. We grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. Paul Williams, Eddie Kendricks, myself. There were 8 boys and 1 girl in my family. Migrating to Detroit, people would come in here for jobs and things. Paul came here to sing. I think Paul's first, I know I'm moving a little fast.
Take your time.
I like to talk about this a little slower because it's really, really important to history because of not the fact that just Paul Williams of the Temptations, but his nature, where he came from, what made him the guy that everybody loved. At Motown, Paul was a special guy. He was like Stevie Wonder or Berry Gordy. He was at that level when he came to Detroit to prepare himself to create a group called the Temptations. Actually, a lot of people may not even realize the fact that Paul Williams also created the Supremes. And that's a story I'd like to talk about one day, how that all started.
We could talk about that right now because that's new to me. I know Diana Ross's sister, she lives on the west side, I don't want to say particularly, but tell us, how did Paul start the Supremes?
Well, a lot of people, when they meet me, the first thing they want to know is, was the movie true? Was it based on true or was it dare, you know? So I always have to be honest about it because I got different mixed emotions about the movie. There were some things I thought should be there that wasn't, and as a family, we looked at it that way. But Paul Williams came to Detroit wanting to create a group that sounded like his father's group because my dad was the original Inslee Jubilee singers who were also the Williams brothers.
So say the Jubilee singers, say that again.
The Inslee Jubilee singers, they sung in Alabama on the radio every Sunday for nearly 70 years. They are part of the history of Birmingham, Alabama. As a kid growing up, for me, there was only one black radio station in Alabama.
What was the name of that station?
Wind Radio Station.
W-I-N.
Yeah, Wind Radio Station. And the DJ was called Tall Paul.
Tall Paul.
Yeah, and when the Temps first broke that record, the first hit record they had was The Way You Do the Things You Do.
Okay, The Way You Do the Things You Do.
Yeah,
So tell us some of the hits that your brother wrote.
Well, they were more singers, but Paul did For Once in My Life, Don't Look Back, I Want a Love I Can See. He was truly a founder. Paul wasn't just a guy who was in a group. His heart, soul, and everything about him. When my father offered Paul the opportunity to finish high school, that if you finish high school, son, I'll get you a job in the plant and you can work with me. And Paul said, no way. I want to sing, Dad. I don't want to work in a plant. And my father said, well, how are you going to take care of yourself? He said, well, I'm going north. North? Son, you finish high school. You're in 11th grade. You finish high school, you'll be fine. And Paul turned him down and packed the stuff. We worked a couple of jobs around this area where we lived, got enough money. We made it to Ohio. We got to Ohio. They started. We sent back for Eddie Kendricks. But I want to tell you the story one day when we get a chance.
No, tell us right now. We got time.
Well,
hold on. Let me just tell them who you are because you're my neighbor and you've been good to me. Tell them who you are and why this story is so important. He know that I have. He know that I love music and I love the story of Motown. Jazz 313 is chronicling these kind of stories. But tell them who you are.
Again, I'm Joe Williams, Joseph. My mother named me. People call me Joe. I'm just an average guy who raised a family.
No, you're not an average guy. Listen, you know about Big Joe Williams, the jazz singer?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was on tour with him.
Oh,
I was yeah. So nice, so hard. I was with Budweiser.
Yeah, I see, okay.
But you are Joe Williams Senior.
Yeah.
Big Joe Williams in
right.
Vegas and in New York.
No ordinary guy.
No ordinary guy. You already know. So tell us about Paul and Eddie's connection. You say he sent for him.
Well, the thing about it, Paul and Eddie are pretty much the same age, maybe a year or so apart.
Okay.
But Paul and Eddie grew up together, and Eddie didn't really want to come to Detroit to sing. He didn't want to leave Alabama. We didn't grow up with a vision of the North or anything like that. You know, we were a real poor family. As I said before, my dad had 8 boys and 1 girl, and we had a 2-room house. And that's when Paul made his decision that I'm gonna go north. Dad, if I'm gonna be successful singing, I gotta go north.
How did he meet Berry Gordy? I mean, explain that.
How he met Berry Gordy.
Look in the camera.
Yeah, I had to think about
Okay,
that.
go ahead. Take your time. You Joe.
I wasn't actually in Detroit at that time. When I got to Detroit, I was only 17 years old.
She was a little brother.
Graduating high school, yeah. And I don't know exactly or remember how they actually met, but I do know that Paul called home and said, Dad, I told you we was gonna make it. And my father said, well, as long as you ain't no trouble, son, you good. You doing good. He said, well, me and Eddie met this guy named Berry Gordy, and I think we're gonna get a recording contract. And I think it was 2 years later when he came home, and he said, we were playing baseball in front of our house, and we saw a limousine, a bus, and a couple other cars coming down the street, and everybody stopped to see, well, who could this be? You know? And it was Paul and Eddie coming on tour. They were on tour, headed to Miami, Florida. And Paul brought everybody home to meet his family.
So who was in that band, the original Temptations?
The original...
David Ruffin, was he original?
Well, no, David wasn't original.
Oh.
But David was when they really caught fire.
Okay.
David Ruffin, that voice of his, wow. You know,
Cloud Nine?
all of that. Even before that, though. I mean, the songs that they really loved, and they used to sing a song called Cornbread and Black Eyed Peas.
Sing that to us.
No, I can't do that.
That's,
oh, no.
And my man Louis Jordan sing that. You remember right. Louis Jordan back in the 50s? My granddad used to listen to that.
Yeah.
So tell us, okay, so they pulled up going to Miami, and what neighborhood were you guys in back then?
We were in Inslee, Alabama.
Inslee, Alabama.
Yeah, and we had no idea. Like I said, at that time, at the particular time, there was only one black radio station in Alabama, or Birmingham, where we knew of. And when Paul brought all these people home, they were on tour coming from Atlanta, Georgia, to Miami, Florida, some parts of Florida. And he brought everybody by our house and introduced them to my father. Now, this is an interesting story I wanted to give.
Take your time.
This is a special story that I bet you won't find this one anywhere else.
Okay.
Unless I can tell you or someone in my family.
We got all day.
Paul Williams told Melvin Franklin, the bass singer of The Temptations, that his father could sing a note lower than a piano could play. They laughed at him. They said, man, you crazy. That was one of the reasons why they came by our house on their way to Miami.
Okay.
So Paul could show them this. So Paul called my mom up and dad and told them what was going on. And they fixed a big feast. I mean, we ate like it was Sunday, and it was in the middle of the week.
Okay.
Sunday dinner. I remember Paul asked everybody to come into the house so he could introduce his parents. And Diana Ross, when she got inside of the front door, she sat in the first chair. And everybody else was being introduced, and she was just kind of sitting. I was just kind of staring at her because I never.
Was she pretty? Was she
She
pretty?
was pretty.
Her
I
daughter,
never
she got a
seen
daughter, Tracy Ellis.
Tracy is beautiful.
Yeah,
Another daughter too, a younger one, younger than her.
no, that's too young for me. I mean,
What?
too young for me.
Well, no,
so finish the story. I don't want to. We talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay, but I'm a Betty Carter lover.
Yeah,
Abby
yeah,
Lincoln.
but,
I'm a jazz guy, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Paul brought him in, and the thing was is that they said, Mr. Williams, your son said you could sing a note lower than a piano, and there was no one in our community that had a piano in their home that we could go to, so my father could show them. So they was like, well, what about the school, Dad? So we called Western Olin High School, the high school that we went to in Alabama.
Okay, is that school still open?
It's still open right now.
Western
it's called
Olin.
Jackson Olin because the principal was there so long that they named the school after him after they remodeled it and rebuilt it. But anyway, Paul told him, well, Mr. Jackson, can we come up and use the piano for a minute? And he said, yeah. Oh, Rufus, yeah. He said, for my dad, anything, because they play dominoes together.
Okay.
So we went up and my father did do, sa, how do you do that?
Do, re, mi?
Sa, whatever it is.
Whatever, we all know.
It was the C scale.
Okay.
And my father said, do it all the way down till you get to the last note. And when they got to the last note, everybody was kind of surrounding it to hear him blow a note that was lower than the piano. So he actually blew that note. And when he did, they just, oh my God, Jesus, I don't believe, did you hear that? Everybody was just going crazy.
Who was on that bus with y'all? Smokey Rock or with your brother?
Well, it was the Supremes.
Was Stevie went on it?
No, Stevie wasn't on there. It was the Supremes, the Miracles, and the Temptations.
Okay, you going down to Miami?
Headed from the Rooster Tail in Atlanta, Georgia. They were in Atlanta, Georgia, on a bus with the two cars going to Miami.
Okay, did you ever meet the Funk Brothers like
Yes.
Jamerson?
Oh my God.
What about Yule Jones?
Me and Jameson, I got a story about.
Hold on, you tell us about. What about Earl Van Dyke?
Earl Van Dyke, I knew all those guys.
See, I'm from who took me in was Yule Jones. He was the drummer, one of the.
Yeah, really?
I'm from Ecorse.
Yeah.
No. Yule and his daughter, we worked together. As a little boy, I've been knowing Yule with the drum buggy with the van.
Wow.
And when I grew up as a man, I was working for Budweiser. I would see Yule and the Funk Brothers out. I would see Yule with Santana. I would see Yule with Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, with Stevie Wonder, I don't know how he put his bands together. He just patch them together and they go. But anyway, tell us some more stories about Paul and some of the concerts that you remember.
I could tell you one that I really hold dearly to is the Motown Review.
So who was what was that, 20 grand?
The Motown Review.
I'm just
not from Detroit, huh?
I'm from Detroit. I'm from Ecorse, but I was too young for that. I was too young.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Remember, you 10
Well, anyway, the Fox Theater, every Christmas, Motown entire organization would go to the Fox Theater for the Motown Review concert. Everybody, Stevie, the Temptations, Miracles, Supremes, Martha Reeves and Vandella. It was like, wow,
Martha
man.
Reeves, she's from Inkster.
I thought,
she's from Inkster. But everybody from Alabama,
if you go to Detroit, if you go to New York and say you from Inkster, they gonna wonder where you from. But if you say Detroit, they know what you're talking about.
I get it.
So same thing with Alabama, So, but we grew up in Ensley, Alabama. But
Ensley, how far was that from Birmingham?
That's downtown Birmingham. That's why.
How far is that from the 16th Street Baptist Church? I was down there.
Oh man, I could walk to it from home.
They call it Birmingham.
That's the church they blew up.
They blew up, right.
Well, I got stories on that, man.
I know that.
I got more.
Talk about it. We got time.
Well,
we got time.
Not for me at this moment.
Okay, not at this moment.
Because I don't want to just give everything all.
Okay, but let's just talk about Paul.
I'm also working on a documentary.
Tell us about that documentary. You've been telling me about your people out in LA.
The thing about it is that over the years I've talked to a lot of people who have a lot of sympathy for Paul Williams,
Why do they have sympathy? What happened?
With sympathy because Paul died in a suicide situation.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Paul was only 34 years old when he died.
So who
when
he-
he was murdered. Well,
Where was he at? Where did this happen at?
12th Street and
Penguin?
14th Street and West Grand Boulevard,
Wow.
right behind Conyers Ford. You're probably too young.
No,
to
I
remember
know
Conyers
Northwestern
Ford.
High School.
Yeah,
I remember that
you
right
went
on
to
the boulevard.
Northwestern?
No, I know about
Right on the
Northwestern.
corner of the boulevard.
That's where the
Where
great
this was
James
farther
Carter's
down.
from.
Yeah, all
John
that.
Conyers is
Oh,
from.
there's a lot of
I know
stuff.
about the
This
Coats.
the Belvedere Company started right there on the
I know
boulevard.
about it. Brazelton Flowers.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I know.
yeah. Them, I
I know Carlton Mays Printing before he moved up.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah,
know,
see,
listen,
all that,
I'm
yeah.
from Ecorse. We used to come down. Listen,
Yeah.
Ecorse. I'm too young for Hastings, but I remember 12th
I
Street before the
remember
riot.
Hastings, yeah.
I was a little guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, though, tell us about the untimely death of your brother. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Well, it was suspected suicide is what we were told as a family. And
What's the word on the street? The word on the street.
Well, I don't know about the street part
Okay.
of it, because as a family member, that was about like one of the most devastating things that could ever happen.
At the top of when they was taken off.
Well, actually, Paul had to come off of the road because of sickle cell.
Okay.
But people think it was because of alcohol, but
Okay.
it was sickle cell that attacked him, that made him drink liquor, period. Anyway, Paul was a milk guy, loved milk and cookies.
So they say suicide.
Yeah, but we don't,
Did the police, what was the official police report?
suspected suicide. That's why I have a problem with the word suspected.
Okay, so let me ask you, how many kids did Paul leave behind? That you know
That
of?
I know of, 9.
9. Okay, what about the royalties? I know, I've talking to a lot of Motown people, and I'm just gonna ask you this question. But a lot of them, their families are not in great financial shape, and Motown sold that company for billions of dollars, and the royalties, was the money equally distributed, or is that something you don't know about? I mean, we don't want to go too deep into it.
Well, I won't get too deep into it, but that's a situation, and that's a whole nother history of Motown
So that's why you're
that
doing.
hasn't been talked about or told, or people kind of keep that down. People don't want to talk about
So that's why you're doing yours out in Los Angeles. You told me you've been out to LA.
I went out to LA, yep,
And you got
worked
the
with
MGM and all those people get ready to do the
interested in the project. Yeah,
Interested. So what is the project called again?
it's the Paul Williams Legacy Project. Is the name of the project itself.
And
Based-
who you told me before that some famous actor wanted to play his part?
Well, there was different people that we talked to, asking them to be a part of it. Fantasia Barrino agreed to be a part of it, and a lady named Miss Tamia Stewart.
Mia Stewart. My
Tamia
daughter's-
Stewart was in the movie Mississippi Burning, where the
Okay.
young girl, she was the mother.
Okay. I
in
know.
that
I
movie.
know. I didn't know.
Actually, she went on to become the dean of drama at the University of Alabama.
Okay.
And from there, I met her through a guy who went to school with her. He went to school for engineering. She went for performing arts, but they were best friends, grew up next to each other. And he got her on the phone and asked her, I'm friends with Paul Williams' brother. Can you come down here and produce a movie for us? And she was like, wait a minute, hold on. That's not that simple.
So you are writing the story, and I guess what we're looking at Oprah, Tyler Perry, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
I know Spike. If the Pistons and the Knicks be here, if the Pistons and the Knicks play, I'm gonna take you down.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. And Spike is my man. I know his father from the
You know
jazz community.
something? I've always wanted to meet him at David Ruff's funeral at New Bethel Church.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, and somebody nudged me and say, "Look behind you." I was like, "Look behind me, man! This is a funeral. I'm
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm not looking at all that, man. I'm here.
Oh, no, you're here
this
for you.
funeral, yeah." And they said, "Guess who's sitting behind you?" And I looked around. It was Robert Townsend.
Oh yeah. He did a
and-
movie. What's
and,
that movie? They did a movie.
Robert did a lot of movies.
So-
Supposed to be the 5 Heartbeats.
Okay,
It's his
fine.
movie.
Okay. So let's go back to the members of the original Motown. Okay, Eddie Kendricks, Paul, and who's the other 3?
Otis, Melvin,
Elvin. Give us the
and
names.
Elgin Bryant. Elgin Bryant. They were the original.
How was the girls? Rick James say they like the girls in the band. Were the girls going crazy?
Temptation from the day they started out, even at the talent shows. I mean, when they created the Supremes, Well, actually, they were called the Prime and the Primettes at that time.
Okay.
Based on the movie that everybody's participating in viewing these last 15, 20 years, that movie that came out, well, that was pretty much true story. It was Otis Williams in the distance, and it was the Supremes at that time was the Primettes, and Paul and Eddie were the Primes, just two guys. How can two guys make harmony like a group? That's amazing, ain't it?
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what's so unique about Paul and Eddie, and why Eddie Kendricks did an interview, and he was bragging to me about the interview he did, and I say, "But what they ask you?" He said, "They asked me, how did they create the Temptation?" And Eddie said he told them that without me and Paul, there would not be no Temptation.
So guess what? I was in Vegas several years ago, and I did go to a Temptation show, and they got like this guy, such and such cousin, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So what do the family think about everybody is capitalizing on the
Man,
Temptation?
there's been so many Temptations since, my brother. It's amazing.
But this is the original. We're talking to the original Joe Williams, the brother of Joseph. My middle name is Joseph.
Yeah.
The original Paul Williams. So this is not no Hollywood. Somebody stole the AI. This is the raw, real in Detroit on the west side. And tell us about, we don't want to talk about what we have, but tell them who lived in this house that you owned before you brought it. DeBarge, you say?
DeBarge lived here.
So DeBarge was the whole family or just a couple of them?
DeBarge, whole family.
The whole family lived in this house?
According to the mail that comes to the house,
oh, you still
the whole family.
So what was the LaBarge? I know my sisters don't like that. I've been a jazz guy. What's LaBarge? I know they was light skinned with the finger waves.
Deidre DeBarge.
Deidre DeBarge.
That's who I met.
Okay.
And she introduced me to Bonnie.
Okay. Bunny.
No, you have to say her name correctly because she don't like you
What
to
is
say
how we say it?
Bunny.
Okay,
like
Bunny.
a bunny rap.
Okay,
she
well.
don't want to hear no Bonnie.
Oh, and she's still living in the Detroit area?
No, she's I think she's in Arizona or something, maybe. You know, she's a traveler. They still doing entertainment.
So let me ask you another question. So you had, in the Temptations camp back then, you had Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson. So what kind of guy did you ever meet Smokey when you guys was doing it?
Many times. I know Smokey very well.
Okay. So Smokey.
Yeah, I'll take it in.
There you go. That's our mailman. That's our mailman. We just kicking it. We kicking it. So tell us some Smokey stories though.
When I met Smokey.
Thank you.
When I met Smokey Robinson, we was in the recording studio doing, what was that song?
Take your time.
I want a love I can see. That's the only kind that means a thing to me. And I actually never been in a recording studio, didn't understand what
on the boulevard. Y'all was on the boulevard.
Right on the boulevard in 12th Street.
So the Miracles.
Actually, Church Hill.
So who was the Miracles?
The Miracles.
That was Smokey's backup band, right?
No, the Miracles.
That was their own group.
The Miracles was one group from the beginning, but because Smokey is such a talented guy, he wound up writing music for everybody in the organization.
So okay, it's like
let me say this right here. Barry Gordy created a school of music with these talented kids from the
urban
neighborhood, and they were all talented, just super talented people, right? Already, so Barry had to find a way to expose them to bigger levels, and so that's what it was like. When I met Stevie Wonder, it was doing the Motown review at the Fox Theater. So I'm hanging out in the hallway because I'm looking at all the stars, because I'm thinking about when I'm back in Alabama, the music that we dancing to and how we party. These are all the people that, and I'm like, wow, ooh, that's all this. So I was hanging out in the lobby area by the elevator, and Stevie Wonder came out of his dressing room and walked right up to me and put his hand on my face and was like, he said, "You Paul's brother, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Paul's brother." He was like, "That's a pretty red sweater you got on." And I was like,
And I thought,
"Really?"
oh, okay.
Okay. And so he walked off and went back to
Stevie Wonder told you had on the red sweater.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
This
run
is
back.
Jazz 313 exclusive. Stevie.
I run back to the dressing room. I was like, "Paul, I thought you told me that guy couldn't see. You said he couldn't see." He said he can't. I was like, "Well, then how you know I got on a red sweater?"
What did he say?
Paul said, "Man, somebody's pulling your leg." They already told him in the dressing room what you had on and where you was.
Okay.
So he just walked down there.
So let me.
I was like, "That's what it was."
Okay, let me ask you. What about was Michael Jackson? But that's before Michael Jackson. Though.
When I met Michael Jackson family, it wasn't Michael Jackson, it was the whole family. The Temptation was in Chicago.
Okay.
And we was at some stadium or somewhere. I was young then. I didn't really. Anyway, the Staple Singers were there that night to see the Temptation.
The Staple Singers?
Yep.
Okay, okay, that's Chicago.
Yep. And so with the Jackson family came out to meet the Temptation backstage. So I'm back there, and they all doing things with Paul. My brother Paul would always say, if he spotted me somewhere, he'd be like, "Come here, get over here." If they're gonna take a picture, they're gonna take a picture of both of us, not just me.
So he was a big brother. So
yeah,
you was the
definitely.
baby. What was his rank in the order?
He's number 4 out of 9.
So how many of them? Because that's in the genes. So your daddy started. How many of your other siblings was in the singing?
3. I had Paul, Erskine, and Johnny. They were awesome.
I tell you what. Outside of the church I was raised in, of course, Mount Zion. When I was a sinner, I used to love to go to Little Rock. I hang out all night. I go to Little Rock. So tell me, growing up in Detroit, what was your family church and what was the choir at?
Well, here I didn't have a family church here in Detroit.
But when y'all came to Detroit?
Our church was Macedonia Baptist Church.
What is that?
It's right over there on the expressway now.
Okay.
But in
Could they sing in there? Could they sing in there?
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about.
It's a church right now. My daughter.
I'm saying now. Listen, this is the thing about it. Paul and Eddie were brought up to be gospel singers. They wasn't brought up. The rhythm and blues came because they met in Alabama. Brooke Benton came for a concert in Alabama.
Okay.
And Paul and Eddie made their way to meet him backstage to talk to him, to ask him.
So they was backsliding.
They wouldn't. Well,
that's what Lou Rawls called it when he told me him and Sam Cooke. They started off gospel. They had a little gospel.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And Sammy
I see
Davis.
what you said. Well, the thing
that's what
about
they called it back then.
Yeah, but these were 2 young guys trying to figure out how can we sing like you do, because you do a show and you travel. And he told them that the way you guys want to be, or the type of group you'll have to go north, because down here you are behind the cotton curtain.
That's what Lou Rawls called it.
Yeah, the cotton curtain.
Past Ohio River.
And the Bible Belt. So down here, gospel is king. But up north, for what you guys can do, you should go try it.
What about Rick James? Did you ever meet Rick James? He's part of
Never
Motown.
met Rick James.
So who else? Tell us besides the Temptations, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross. Who else? Who else did you meet? Smokey, you already said.
I met Dean Martin because I was at one of the TV shows when the Temptations did Dean Martin show. Who else did I meet? Man.
Give me some jazz guys that you bumped into.
Jazz, Marcus Belgrave.
Oh, that's the Detroiter. You know, that's.
Well, no, Marcus Belgrave.
He's from Pittsburgh.
He's still the king, though.
I know that. Yeah, that's
what I'm from.
What about Earl McKinney and Ray McKinney?
Earl, all of those guys. I mean, like.
You Seth Lateef, Tommy Flanagan.
Yeah, well.
But those.
I was 17. I got here in 69.
Young. 69, I was 8 years old.
Yes, I was.
Rock and roll was taking off
then
there.
I was still coming from Alabama. I didn't come from New York where things already moving. I came from a slow pace to a faster pace. In fact, the tallest building in Birmingham was only 10 stories. When I came to Detroit, I thought Highland Park was downtown. I didn't know any better. Paul told me, he said, "Man, that's not downtown. That's Highland Park." So you got 2 downtown?
Here's another question that I have. You ever meet the lady Susan DePass, the lady who sung them up?
Many times.
So tell me about her. People ask me all over the world. I go, London. I go, I travel a lot, and they always her name come up, and I'm like,
she's a beautiful lady.
So she was the one who styled them, right?
Yeah, she's the one that took Otis Williams under her wings and helped him to create the movie, the Temptation movie.
So Otis Williams and Paul Williams, I'm confused.
Otis is from Texas, Paul is from Alabama.
But everybody thought they was cousins.
Well, because it's the same last name, but there's many people
But
named Williams.
as they always say, we probably came off the same Williams plantation 100 years ago.
So, yeah.
Probably so. And daddy, granddaddy, them birth
that's right.
So anyway, one closing thing
Yeah.
about your project that's coming up, and how can one get a hold of you to financially support it?
Yeah.
Or we talk about Fantasia, we talk about these other actors, and
Yeah.
we in the movie business out in LA. If when I'm in New York, I'm gonna make sure I get a hold of Spike. But anyway, though, how can they tell us about your project and how can they help?
Okay, well,
Look in
our
the camera.
project is called the Paul Williams Legacy Project. We're prepared for a documentary or a movie project. I've worked with some top people out in LA, such as Jacques Gravette. Jacques Gravette is the editor for Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Sons of Anarchy, The Shield. He's a great person, loves Paul, pledged all of his support to help with this project. Also here in Detroit, I've worked with some people here in Detroit, and just recently I talked to someone who's interested in the documentary aspect of the Paul Williams story. So stay tuned. We're talking to people.
You have a web page?
Yeah, we have, you can contact us through the Williams to Williams group, the Williams to Williams group at gmail.com.
Again, this is Jazz 313. If you like what we do, this is my neighbor, the brother Paul Williams. This is Joseph Williams Jr., a Detroiter.
Joseph Williams, not Jr.
Joseph Williams, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm going to edit this out. And thank you for giving me your time.